Hi there, Jennifer Jimenez here, the founder of the Health and Wellbeing Division of Brave Thinking Institute, where our mission is to help you create and live a life that you absolutely love living. And my passion is to help you create the body, the vitality, the energy, and the radiance of your dreams. And today I'm going to be talking about 3 weight stressors that actually, when you remove and release these stressors, you actually turn on and activate your health genes, which actually help release these stressors and these toxins from your body. And so many of my clients say that they weren't even trying, and 10 pounds, 20 pounds, or even more just seems to just melt away. So let's go ahead and dive into these weight stressors. Our first weight stressor, and let me just say something about stress and why stress is so important to address in our health and well-being journey. When the body, whether it be the mental, the emotional, or the physical body, is under stress, it can, if it's too much stress, a certain amount of stress actually is healthy for us. Otherwise, we're laying in bed and we're like zombies, and there's absolutely no stress occurring in life because we're not living life. So as we live a normal, healthy life, a certain level of challenge and stress is actually healthy. However, what happens is in our Western world, we often have way more stress than what is healthy for the body, and then it compounds on itself. When we have that kind of stress, it puts us into what's called distress mode. When we're in distress mode, the body actually goes into fight or flight, as if we're being chased by a lion, or as if a famine is coming. When we're in fight or flight, it increases our cortisol. When our cortisol is increased, studies have shown that the body will actually hoard or hold on to body fat. If there was a famine back when there wasn't enough food, then the body would just hold on to or hoard the body fat in order to have fuel to access when there wasn't enough food to eat. So in these 3 stressors that I'm going to be discussing today, we have mental stressors, we have physical stressors, and we have emotional stressors. Now, make sure you watch the whole video, because at the end, I know there are lots of things right now that we cannot control. And there's quite a bit of stress that feels like it's coming at us, and there's nothing we can do about it. However, there are a minimum, and I know there's more than this, but I'm going to hand you 6 ways that you can turn off and turn down these mental, emotional, and physical stressors, turn up and turn on your health genes. These are all things that are simple solutions that are absolutely 100% in your control. So I am going to be reveal a little bit of the maybe the challenge or the bad news, but I am going to give you the good news and things that you absolutely have control over that can put you back in the driver's seat of your health and your wellness. And maybe even before you know it, this excess weight just begins to melt and fall away, and you just become and you reveal and unleash the even more vibrant, radiant version of you. So let's talk about physical stressors for just a moment. So some of the physical stressors that you may or may not be realizing is going on is, number one, the toxins that we consume. Now, there's toxins in the air that we breathe. There are toxins found in our food that we're eating. There are toxins found in our water. There are toxins found in our cleaning products. There are toxins found in our beauty products. So much so that they've done studies on pregnant women and little infants when they're born, and they've taken tests of the umbilical cord, and they have found actual known carcinogens in the umbilical cord. How would it get there? Really, truly only through what the mom, the lipstick the mom's putting on her lips, the cream that she's lathering on her hands, the soap and the shampoo, the cleaning products she's using to clean the toilets, the food that she's eating, the water that she's drinking. All of this is going into the physical body. And here's what's important. The body, if there's too many toxins coming in and there's not enough time to remove the toxins inside of your normal digest and rest and recover period, then the body will seek to store the toxins. It's almost like a conveyor belt. So imagine the toxins coming, and there's somebody at the end of the conveyor belt, and it's trying to eliminate and put the toxins where they go. But if the conveyor belt's going so fast, the person at the end of the conveyor belt, it'll just start to store it. So it stores it in our fat muscles in our buttocks, on our thighs, on our belly, behind our arms. That's where we get the back fat. It's like the body's storing our toxins in our fat cells, right? Because it's one of the safer places to store the toxins. Well, here's what's beautiful. You start to identify what are called these hormone disruptors, these toxins, and we actually do have more control over what kinds of toxins we're exposing our body to than we realize it. I'll get to that in just a moment, but just know that there is a lot of physical stress from just the toxins we're exposing our body to. Now, another stress is in the form of over exercising. This is contrary to what most people think. So many clients will say that they're spending all these hours on the treadmill, or running and jogging and doing hours and hours of hard core cardiovascular exercise. And actually, contrary to what a lot of fitness programs tell you, just eat less, exercise more, eat less, exercise more. And some of my clients come in, they're eating so little, their body thinks there's a famine. So number one, we talked about the famine, the body storing anything that might go in. And number two, they're exercising so many minutes in kind of an increased, elevated cardiovascular way that it actually spikes their cortisol levels. Now, we've talked a little bit about cortisol. Cortisol is released when the body's under stress. So then the body thinks that, again, there's a famine, and it's going to store excess fat when there's a famine, or excess energy, so to speak. So there's a couple of ways of moving the body. One is high intensity interval training. They've done a number of studies where you do 90 seconds of high level movement, jumping jacks, jumping rope, biking, walking, jogging at high intensity, and then you rest for 90 seconds. So it's 90 seconds high intensity, and then then you either walk around and rest, or you rest and recover. So it's on off, and if you think about a car, it's like revving up the engine of the car versus sprinting the whole time. So you only do high intensity for about 10 to 20 minutes. The other kind of movement is weight training. Weight training has also been absolutely 100%. I've never read an article that talks about weight training increasing body fat. On the contrary, it increases lean muscle, and lean muscle burns more calories, and lean muscle also helps us shed the excess body fat. Now, in addition to that, elimination. Now, oftentimes the body will be under distress because we're just putting too much food in, not enough fruits and vegetables and fiber. We're not drinking enough water, and then the body just gets clogged. It gets stuck. We're constipated, or we're not regularly eliminating. So there's a couple of simple solutions for that. The first is water. Water, we are mostly water. We're 90%, water. So if you think about what drives us, foods that contain water, fruits and vegetables, and then just making sure that we're drinking water. Another thing is you want to look at the kind of water you're drinking. I'm going to share a family inside secret, and I do have permission to tell this story. This last year, my father was diagnosed with actually stage 4 lymphoma. Now, the good news about this story is he's actually in remission. But as a health expert, I was looking for any clues or cues, or, he had just gone through a whole physical and everything seemed fine. And he got a clean bill of health. And then a few months later, this was a very fast growing cancer. And one of the things I noticed as we were doing a video conference together was I saw all these plastic water bottles around his home. And I said, Dad, are you drinking all of your water out of plastic bottles? It is a well-known fact that unless it's a BPA free water bottle, there are carcinogens and known toxins in plastic that leaches off the plastic into the water and can actually cause great harm and potentially cancer and so on and so forth. So we immediately got him a reverse osmosis filter, and he replaced all the plastic in his house with glass water bottles. And that way, all the water that's going through his system, his body's not storing the toxins that are coming from the plastic somewhere in his body. The water is actually doing what it's meant to, which is hydrating all of his cells and all of his organs, as well as flushing the toxins out of his system. So I do believe that that was one key factor that has led to his healing, is making sure that the kind of water he's drinking is optimal water. Our water supply is so very important. Now, there's also toxins just in your own tap water, which is why having a really great filter is super, super important to the health of our bodies and also just the way our bodies look and feel. The other thing is just eating enough fiber. So having apples and broccoli and, the kinds of foods that, if you think about, it's like scrubbing the insides as it goes through your system, versus sticky cheese and creams and, the things that are going to stick to the walls. If you think about when you cook, the kinds of fat, and think about just bacon grease for, I get it, bacon tastes really good. But if you think about the grease and having that go into your body, so just fruits and vegetables in general are going to give you enough fiber, nutrients, micronutrients, and really help also detoxify the body with the antioxidants that a lot of fruits and vegetables have. So, so important. Broccoli, by the way, has been widely studied and is just really one of the superfoods. I encourage you to Google the benefits of just good old broccoli. Now, in addition to that, in terms of movement is concerned, I also want to talk about rebounding. In my research, when I was, having conversations with my dad, when we were really looking at the lymph, I was reminded, and this is something I knew, but it's, in our busy lives, it's easy to forget. Rebounding, bouncing, jump roping, that bouncing activity with the body is one of the most powerful activities to move the lymph system. So one of the only ways to activate the lymph, or the only way, is moving the body, which is why they say that sitting is the new sleeping. You want to move the body to move and activate the lymph system. So rebounding on a little mini trampoline, or doing jump roping, or just kind of bouncing like this. You could even bounce in a chair if you aren't able to stand or walk. If you're in a, if you're in a chair all the time and you can't actually walk, you can still move your body, get that lymph going. It's very, very important and helpful in moving the lymph system, activating the lymph system. Now, let's talk about what you can control. Now, there are certain aspects of mental stress and emotional stress that do feel like we're impacted by the world around us and what's going on. But here's what I'll say. Absolute sure. Scientifically, they show that the more time you spend watching the news, particularly the negative side of news and all the doom and gloom. Now, I'm not saying not to be aware and informed, but you can be informed in a very short period of time, usually a few minutes. The rest of the time that we're investing receiving this constant flow of negative news immediately turns off the feel good hormones and turns on the stress hormones. And in that state, this weight that you would love to release isn't going anywhere. So your number one thing you can control is turn off the negative news. Read an empowering, positive book, or turn on a movie that makes you laugh. Laughter turns on the positive hormones. You can, instead of talking to the friends that are all doom and gloom and negative Nellies, you and I both know we have that friend, at least hopefully you have a friend that's positive, that you can talk to, that isn't just talking about the negative stuff of life, but has a good positive mental attitude. And after you talk to this friend or family member, you feel uplifted in their presence. So leaning away from the friends that are the negative Nellies and doom and gloom, and leaning towards friends and family that are positive and have a positive mental attitude. So turning off that news and turning on things that make you laugh and full of joy, even if it's just for a few minutes. And I know there's challenges. I know there's stressful times, and we have more control of our mental state than we often give ourselves credit for. We don't have to get sucked into the wave of spending hours and hours in that negative mental state. Now, our mental state immediately impacts our emotional state. What we think about, what we're focusing on, what we're looking at actually activates and creates our emotions, energy and motion. So if I'm watching a scary movie, even though it's not real, what's happening in my body? I'm like, ah, my body's literally full of negative, fear driven emotions and hormones, even though it's not actually happening, which is why we want to be very mindful of what we're looking at, what we're focusing on, what we're talking about, and really push the pause button on all the anything we can't control and really increase the things that we can. So I promised you that I would give you 6 things that you can control, right? 6 areas that you can control that are simple, that will actually lower and release these stressors, these weight stressors, and turn on your health gene, which over time can absolutely, and I've seen it firsthand in many, many clients who are able to release excess weight by just feeling like it just fell off because they turned off these weight stressors. So, number 1, you can control how much media you consume and reducing negative media and increasing all of the positivity in your life. Number 2, we can control what we put in our mouth. Hint, hint, more organic, non toxic fruits and vegetables, foods full of fiber and micronutrients and antioxidants like baby spinach and organic broccoli and all that great stuff. We can control which friends we engage with. Again, the positive friends, even if it's just one person in our life that we know if we go to this person and talk to them, we're going to feel uplifted in their presence, not pulled down. Number 4, we can control doing 5 minutes of meditation each day. This has been proven to lower the stress hormones, to put ourselves into calm, confident state, to really find that safe place within. There are so many apps, even where you don't have to be looking at the screen. We talked about that, but you're listening. Maybe you put in your headphones and you just take 5 minutes to just calm the mind and come home to the body and just relax and renew. Number 5, we can give ourselves the gift of some fun movement each day that gets our lymph flowing. So get a little, get a rebounder and a little mini trampoline is something you can do from home, super simple, or a jump rope you can do from home, or just kind of bouncing, dancing. I love to dance. For me, a lot of the way I dance is kind of has that bouncing, rebounding energy, but that'll get the lymph going and move all those toxins out of your body. And number 6, we can control what we buy, right? So especially the products and the food, looking for non-toxic, and organic fruits and vegetables, products, beauty products, cleaning products. You'd be surprised. There are all sorts of chemicals that unfortunately here where I live, which is in the US, have been outlawed in other countries, but they're still allowed here. So what does that tell me? That just tells me I need to educate myself, be smarter, and vote with my dollar. So if I'm buying the things that are toxic to me, I'm basically voting that it's okay that these things are produced, versus educating myself. And just there's lots of options. I live in a Western world where there's really a lot of healthy, organic, helpful products, not only to my own body, but to the environment. So I choose to vote with my dollars and to purchase things that I want the market to continue to produce. And in that, I know that I can create more mental health, more emotional health, and more physical health, and create the radiant, vibrant life that I love living. And it's not a one and done thing. It's a daily practice, just like cultivating a garden, this beautiful, healthy body of ours. It's one thought at a time, one bite at a time, and one healthy choice at a time. So I do have a free gift for you. Speaking of guided meditation, I have a free weight loss meditation that really helps you reduce the mental, emotional, and physical stress, giving you some renewal and rejuvenation time. Please feel free to download it. It's my gift to you. Take advantage of these 6 absolute wonderful action steps that you can take today. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon.